Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to be giving you some of my thoughts and impressions on Apex Legends and what makes the game so good. So first up, let's start off with the fact that this is a brand new take on the Battle Royale genre. It's not like Fortnite or PUBG, and let's just not mention Blackout. It's already based on an already great game, Titanfall 2, which was brought to us by Respawn. And let's be honest, although Titanfall 2 wasn't particularly well sold, probably due to its poor release timing, it was still a fantastic, utterly captivating first-person shooter, and to base a game which has been 2 years in the making off of this platform, you're going to start with something very good. Let's not forget to mention that this isn't a bolt-on, unlike the Battle Royale mode for Fortnite, which was later developed after the main game, and it's also not a bolt-on like Call of Duty Blackout's Battle Royale mode. So all in all, it already looks like Apex Legends is off to a great start. So let's bring in some of the other systems that make this game the game it is. The play movement in this game is incredibly fluid. It is very fast paced and it allows a lot of control. You can strafe, you can buddy up, but you can also grab ledges, run up walls. There's also the slide mechanic in the game, which allows you to slide down steep hills, gaining speed and momentum, and then you can chain this onto other slide jumps, allowing you to move across the map incredibly quickly. Couple this with the extensive use of zip lines and the balloon launchers placed around the map, and you can get anywhere faster than any other battle royale out there. This also is partly down to the fact the map is the smallest battle royale map I have seen yet. It is smaller, in my opinion, than what is an already small map in Call of Duty's Battle Royale. So obviously these things coupled together is going to make the pacing feel a lot faster. But there's also another attribute that contributes to the pace of this game. That is the revive system. So unlike in other Battle Royale games, when you die, you're out, that's it. However, in Apex Legends, there's always a chance that if your teammate can get to your body in time, they can retrieve what they call tags. These tags can then be taken to respawn beacons around the map, and you can respawn back into the game. The reason I say this increases the pacing of the game is because players feel like there's less risk in engaging each other. So there's actively more fights and less camping, because there is that chance you can be respawned back into the game. However, when you are respawned, you have absolutely nothing at all. So you will have to go back to a body and re-loot your stuff or grab the nearest gun you can find. Unlike in other Battle Royale games out there as well, this is limited to only 60 players per game on 3-person teams. However, they have said that they are working on possibly a solos and a duo mode for those that want that there. To me, this doesn't pose much of a problem because the map size is much smaller, so 60 players feels really comfortable on a map that size. And whilst we're on the subject of the map again, the map is probably one of the better maps I have seen in a Battle Royale game. It compares quite well to Vikendi of PUBG in the sense that the map is very full. There's very few void dead spaces. They've made use of height and terrain. There is lots of architecture in the game in the form of buildings and massive structures, so there's lots of vantage points. There are open areas in the game, however, I don't think they hinder that much in the sense there's still plenty of cover. There's still places to get down if you're being shot at. But the open spaces add a different dynamic in is it's risky, but generally it's faster to traverse. There are obviously going to be better opportunities for the long-ranged combat in those open areas, which people may or may not prefer. However, I feel the map is very well balanced, there's a lot of variety, so it's a good map, it's a good starter. Moving on, let's talk a little bit more about the weapons. So there's already quite a lot of weapons in the game, there's 20 in total, including the new one they dropped only a day or two ago. Unlike Fortnite though, these weapons do require skill to master. They use a recoil pattern based system much like that used in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So although these weapons aren't particularly hard to use, if you do want to master them, you can learn the recoil patterns and get that pinpoint accuracy from your sprays. The fact that these weapons require a little bit more skill to use effectively, it makes them much more rewarding and fun to use. Getting that perfect spray with the R99, melting an opponent in a matter of seconds can be incredibly satisfying. So yeah, the gunplay really does add to the game, making it much more fun. But we can't expect any less from ex-developers of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1. However, it's not all rosy. A weapon called the Mozambique is probably by far the worst weapon in the game. It does incredibly small amounts of damage and has a triangle based hit pattern, meaning 2 low and 1 high. This makes it incredibly difficult to use because if you aim at the head, the shots are going to go around. And as a result of this, the Mozambique is now just a meme. The SMGs also, in my opinion, lack some stopping power, which means up against an already fast firing assault rifle, you're at a disadvantage. Couple this with high recoil and small magazines, and the SMGs are starting to run into some particularly big problems. So then, are there any good weapons? Yes, there's a lot of good weapons out there. There are some particular standout weapons that are must-haves. However, the sniper rifles could also do with some love and care. As a high caliber weapon, I feel the bullet drop is far too strong and the velocity is far too slow, meaning that at any kind of range where you might use this weapon, unless you've had hundreds of hours of experience with it, it is incredibly difficult to land those shots. Although, in saying this, the game does have probably one of the best rangefinders I've seen in any game. You aim somewhere with a scope, it tells you how far, you match that with the notch on the weapon, and your bullet is going to land there. This is adaptive and changes all the time regardless of zoom. Your first shot on a standing target is therefore going to be incredibly accurate. Now we're on to probably one of my most favourite features of this game, the legends. Apex has taken a very Overwatch style approach to this, and instead of having one character with no abilities that lands in the game, picks up loot, kills people, they've gone for an approach where before the lobby starts, you pick which champion you want, which has a set list of abilities which can either be beneficial or a detriment to your team. However, in saying that these abilities aren't overpowered, I feel they're actually kind of weak and in a lot of cases useless. However, a good combination of champions can result in a very good team. For example, Gibraltar and Lifeline, in my opinion, are probably one of the best pairs in the game, as it has been recently found out that Gibraltar's shield can be placed on top of Lifeline's health drone, allowing the shield to traverse the map instead of being a static object. Coupling this with the fact you are being healed by Lifeline's drone, you're in for a real treat. You can be mobile, get healed, and have 100% cover. I really do feel like the champions add a lot to this game. I really like how they all have their own personality. I particularly like Mirage and his jester style banter, but I really enjoy the fact that depending on which champions you pick at the start of the game, depends on the dynamic and the flow of the actual combat. This adds an extra layer to an already saturated market, and it allows this game to stand out and be different from the others, but in a more meaningful way. The final point I have to talk about is the overall quality of the game, the polish. I know this isn't going to ring true for everyone out there, as I already know there's quite a lot of issues with frame rate and crashing within the game, depending on which setup and graphics card you have. Although in my personal experience, I have not really had any of these problems so far, and for me, I'm getting overall better frame rates and stability than I am in games like Fortnite or PUBG, and most definitely Blackout. This has made the experience way more enjoyable and just allows me to come back time and time again without being frustrated with frame drops or crashing. Overall, I feel like these points make Apex one of the best Battle Royale experiences to date. So there we are. This is the end of the video, and If you feel like I've missed anything out, be sure to let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and subscribe.